Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? Let's go.
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckasher with the Man Hour Show to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. We got some fresh new merch out there. We got the retro trees out there. But if you're a pigskin pundit, you already knew that. And yours is in the mail. I got to hit up one more person, get their size and their address, and bada bing, bada boom, to the boom, baby. But guys, this is Man Hour NFL live, raw, uncut sports talk. We are live every Monday through Friday right here on Facebook.com, of course, YouTube.com at 2:30 East Coast time. But if you're going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can head over to Spotify, check out the podcast form, and directly about an hour after the fact, bada bing, bada boom, the podcast form is up there. But guys, we have already talked about a lot of teams breaking down their schedules so far this NFL season. But right now, we're in the AFC North. We've already talked about the Ravens. We've already talked about the Cleveland Browns. But today, we're going to talk about the old mighty Cincinnati Bengals. But first, we got to welcome some people in the chat. We got to welcome the Pigskin Pundit CFO himself, the man that drives the ship, the man that says, hey, there's an iceberg coming. Let's not turn 100 degrees to the left. Let's just turn 10 degrees to the left, and bada bing, bada boom, it's there, baby. That's my man, Jim Powell. He says this weather is getting on my nerves. Jim, that is facts. Right now, I look out my window, over here, clear blue skies. I look out my window right here, it's darker than a snake's butt. Like, what? What is going on? What is going on? But before we get too carried away, guys, we got to do this thing. And now, Mike's Thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, it has come to my attention that people do not like the new kickoff rule. It has come to my attention that people are up in arms, pissed off about the new kickoff rule. Well, sorry, NFL fans. Sorry, football fans. Sorry, people in general. This rule has been changed since what? Freaking May. Isn't that when we first talked about this new kickoff rule back in like May or June? We've known about it. It's not breaking news. It's not new news. It's been there. We talked about it. We dissected it. We've gone over with the fine-tooth comb over and over and over. But now all of a sudden, that the first Hall of Fame game is tomorrow at 8 o'clock East Coast time, I do believe. The Houston Texans versus the Chicago Bears, which none of the starters are going to play. Stop with that shit. You guys are all like, well, this kickoff rules are dumb. We don't like the kickoff rules. What's wrong with the way they were? Listen to the Man Hour and understand. The kickoff is a good thing. This kickoff rule is a good thing. It's going to add some excitement to the game. It is going to add some intrigue to the game. Granted, I don't like the no surprise onside crap. Like, I get it and I understand it, but let's just be honest. When's the last time you've seen a successful onside kick since you can't overload one side or the other anymore? Hell, I don't think I've ever seen one live. Stop it. Y'all stupid. Kickoff's not going anywhere. You being mad about it on social media is not going to change it. You should have said something back in April when the first meeting came up about it. Let's just be honest about that. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts for the day. Sorry, when I opened up social media first day of the day and I saw people ranting and raving about it, I'm like, y'all, this isn't news. Where have you been? You've been living under a rock. Like, this isn't new news. Like, stop it. Stop it. But guys, we are going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals today. We have been making our trek across the AFC North here. We only got two divisions left. We got the NFC West and the NFC South left. So guys, be prepared for that next couple weeks. Of course, the Hall of Fame game starts tomorrow. I actually shared a post on our Facebook. Did you guys know there's betting on preseason games? I believe it was the Bears that were a 2-point favorite in this preseason game. If you are betting on preseason games, y'all got a problem. I just want to point it out there real quick. If y'all betting on preseason games, y'all got a problem. It is what it is. Like, go get some help. Call that 1-800-HELP gambling or whatever the hell it is or whatever. It is, whatever. Jim Powell's in the chat. Says, I heard they got a new punter. You heard the Bengals got a new punter? So? I mean, I guess they're going to have to use it a lot this year. Let's just be honest. Bengals got to punt a lot this season. I don't think they'll be very good. Mark D's in the chat says, what up? What's up, Mark D? Guys, be sure to check out NFL Experts tomorrow, August 1st, their Season 2 show debut on Hall of Fame night. What? Slow it down, baby. But it is what it is. But to get today's show started, we got to talk about the one and only in the Chicago Bears. We got to talk about how DJ Moore just signed the richest contract in Chicago Bears history. This man got his money, and Bears fans are up in arms about it. They are hella excited. My man BC Combs is like, this is what Ryan Poles does. He's putting a team together, putting the core together. Rah, 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 rah. I get you guys are excited. I get that you guys are really excited. You think DJ Moore is the man, the myth, the legend himself. And last season, right, was the second play of the game. You threw like a 30-yard or 40-yard screen pass to the man, took it to the house. The next play threw another screen pass, took it to the house. He had like 3 touchdowns and 3 screen catches. I get it. Last season, he had 1,300 yards for 8 tutties. Granted, 3 of those came in the first game, but I got to ask the question, guys. Is paying a receiver key to the Bears' success right now? Is paying a player like DJ Moore the keys that is going to push you up over the edge? I was talking to my dad the other day, actually on the way home from work, and he's like, yeah, all these players are getting paid. Great, awesome, but does that instantly make them play better? I was like, whoa. Easy with the knowledge there, man. Slow it down. Easy with the knowledge, but you are 100% correct. Now, those words coming out of my mouth to my dad was very like, right? I learned from him. You never tell anybody that you are correct, but you're like, right? So we've seen Trevor Lawrence get paid. We've seen Jordan Love get paid. Now we're seeing DJ Moore getting paid. We're going to talk about Jamar Chase potentially getting paid here in about next 15 minutes or so. But when you see all these guys getting contracts, do you think that ups their level of commitment? Does that up their level of play? Does it up their level of like, hey, let's go get them, big guys? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. 9 times out of 10, every time. So let's flash back to 5 years ago, right? 5 years ago, $100 million quarterback was like, what? Right? And it was me and Beastie sat here on the show. I pulled up stats, right? Every time a team paid a quarterback $100 million, that team was subpar the next 5 years. Detroit Lions was the first 100, or they paid Matthew Stafford that 5-year, $100 million deal, right? Subpar at best. Jared Goff got his $100 million. What happened to him? Bada bing, bada boom, got cut, right? Now, I'm not saying that as to everybody, but when players get their money, they kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit. Especially if they sign a 4-year deal, that first year, chalk that up as a lost year. Second year, okay, we're trying to get back in our groove. Third year, I got to ramp it up. Fourth year, contract year, let's go, baby. But James right here says more times than not, once they get that big bag, makes the player worse. Exactly. Now, I'm not saying that's true for everybody. I'm just saying, I'm just generally speaking here. When a player gets paid, think about it. I got a raise at work. Very nice raise, right? My first week, I kind of took the foot off the gas. I ain't gonna lie. I put my feet up on my desk like, I made it, baby. I made it. I'm here. What else is there to do, right? And that's exactly how players think. Justin Houston comes to mind for the Kansas City Chiefs. Got his money. Where's he at now? Lining up 3 yards offsides and saying, I didn't know I was offsides. Right. Jim Powell says a receiver doesn't make or break a team. The old line is a reason a mediocre quarterback can put Butterfingers look fantastic. He is no Adams or Lynn Swan. This is exactly right. I think we've actually had this talk before, right? When you have a quarterback, let's say you have an average quarterback. You have a superior offensive line and a below average offensive line, same quarterback. Clearly, with a better offensive line, you're going to do a hell of a lot better. When you have time to look down the field, you make average wide receivers, i.e. Wes Welker, Hall of Famers, right? Wes Welker, when he went to the Denver Broncos, what did he do? Absolutely nothing. John's in the chat. Says, what up, Man Hour Nation? What up, John? Hope you're having a grand old day, man. Staying dry right now. It's pouring ass rain outside. It got legit like night and day out there. It's stupid. But DJ Moore got paid, guys. DJ Moore got his money, and Chicago Bears fans are excited about it. They are excited about it. You know who's not excited? Are Jets fans. Jets fans. They are not excited right now. Robert Saleh has come out and said that Aaron Rodgers will be benched if he had it his way. Basically, Robert Saleh said he does not want to see Aaron Rodgers take any preseason snaps whatsoever. Preseason game snaps. Preseason game, no, Aaron Rodgers, you're going to sit on the bench here in your shorts and t-shirt and your backwards ball cap, chopping it up, put the headset on, talk to the guys. I don't want to see you till week one at all. No. So, guys, we got to ask the obvious question, right? Aaron Rodgers is a veteran. He is a veteran. He's been in the league for what? 15, 18 years, whatever. He's been in the league for a very, very long time. Arguably a top 3 quarterback of all time. I would potentially put him in the GOAT conversation. Aaron Rodgers is that bad man. However, he is on a new team. You cannot count last year. Yes, he did some offseason workouts, got adjusted to the team, whatever, played 4 snaps, right? 4 snaps, his season was over. Technically, new quarterback on a new team. We have all seen the video by now. If you haven't, I'll share it on social media after the show. Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson literally yelling at each other, getting ready to go to blows because the Jets' practice have been so bad. So when you hear Robert Saleh saying, I don't want Aaron Rodgers to play any preseason games. If I had it my way, I would make him sit till week 1. If you are a Jets fan, how about just an NFL fan in period, right? You get a greatest quarterback of all time to your team, and your coach doesn't want him to play any preseason games. How do you feel? How do you feel about that? Because when I first heard that, I'm like, it's good in principle. It's good in principle because you don't want him to get hurt, right? He is almost 40 years old. I don't know how old he is. Almost 40. He is coming off an Achilles injury. I get it. But at the same time, we don't know what Aaron Rodgers is capable of in a New York Jets uniform. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be remotely a shell of himself from previous of injury. We don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to be. If I am a Jets fan, if I am a team fan with a new quarterback, I want to see my guy at least 2 preseason games. Give me a full game. Half here, half there. Give me a full freaking game. Jets fans, how do you feel about that? How about fans in general? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Jim says Rodgers doesn't need to practice. Just don't let him carry the flag out to the tunnel. Not wrong. Not wrong. Not wrong. But today, guys, we are going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. We are going to talk about them breaking their season down. We're going to talk about their offseason issues. We are going to talk about how they did last season first. But John says, before we get carried away, Rodgers is going to go off with the Jets if he stays healthy. John says Aaron Rodgers is going to win the MVP for the New York Football Jets if he stays healthy. I just threw in the MVP part. I think the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers have a good possibility of putting something special together. They would have a good opportunity to win a lot of games if they were in anywhere but New York. If this team was constructed in Arizona, I would go with you on this. But the point of the matter is, New York is the media capital of the world. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a microphone in his face every day, before practice, during practice, after practice, when he wakes up. He is going to be talking a lot. And we know when Aaron Rodgers talks a lot, he says some stuff that a lot of people don't agree with. Let's just be honest. Aaron Rodgers can play at an MVP level, but he has one bad game. 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, gets sacked 5, 6 times. Aaron Rodgers is going to passively aggressive, say the wrong thing. It's going to piss off the young guys, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, whoever, right? It's going to piss off the old guys, or the young guys, I should say. Slowly rip that team apart, and they could be on a 5-game winning streak. One bad game, that team is going to collapse. The problem with the New York Jets is they do have a lot of talent. John, you are correct. They do have a lot of talent on paper. They do all. If this team was constructed 5 years ago, Super Bowl, baby, easily, right? But look at, they're old. Yes, they added some offensive line pieces, right? Tyron Smith from the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, he's a great offensive line if he's healthy. When's the last time he's played a full season? I don't know, 5 years ago? The point of the matter is they do have a lot of talent, but they're old. They have a lot of old heads and a lot of young heads. And I'm not for sure if that's going to transpire very well. But let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. Last season, the Cincinnati Bengals finished the season 9-8. Actually finished with a winning season after Joe Burrow went down week 11 with his wrist injury. Dislocated wrist or whatever. I'm not for sure what the exactly wrist was, but he injured the wrist. Ultimately had season-ending surgery on it. Got it fixed. Insert Jake Browning, right? Jake Browning won 4 of the last 5 games to finish out the season. Looked pretty good, but the Bengals ultimately missed the playoffs, getting 9-8 record. This offseason has kind of been a turmoil offense for the Cincinnati Bengals, right? We don't know if they're coming or going. They drafted some offensive line help. Whoa. I think lightning just hit the house. They drafted some offensive line help from Georgia, Mims from Georgia in the 18th round. They drafted some defensive tackle help from Michigan. They had a pretty decent draft, but this offseason has all been about contracts for the Cincinnati Bengals. Trey Hendrickson says he wants a new deal. Clearly he's not up for a new deal, but it is what it is. Second up, Jamar Chase says he wants a deal, and that's exactly where we're going to start with our news talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase, guys, I went to Cincinnati Bengals practice yesterday, sat there and watched it in person, was there Sunday as well. got a really good opportunity to see the Bengals live, raw, and in person. It's amazing. If you guys ever get a chance to go to practice, it's a lot of fun. Autographs, the festivals, all that stuff. But Jamar Chase was at practice, but he refused to practice. Later, I was overhearing the media talk to Jamar Chase, and they were talking about his contract situation. Basically, guys, Jamar Chase is holding in. This is not wide publicized news, but right now, Jamar Chase wants a deal for the Cincinnati Bengals. He wants a 3-year deal added on to his 2 years that he has right now. He's looking for some JJ money, $35 million a season, but currently he is holding in, meaning he comes to practice but doesn't do nothing. He's there to basically just cause a distraction. One media person out there, I believe he writes for the CincinnatiBengals.com or something just like that, asked Jamar Chase, how long do you expect to be out? Meaning, how long is this holding going to last? And Jamar Chase said, and I quote, "I'll be there when I'm there." So with that being said, guys, if Jamar Chase is going to hold out or hold in until the start of the season into week 3, into week 4, into week 5, can the Cincinnati Bengals really overcome that? Can the Cincinnati Bengals really afford to be losing their receiver by the name of Jamar Chase? Also, by the way, they lost Tyler Boyd this offseason as well. So let me ask this question for you guys. How important is Jamar Chase for the success of the Cincinnati Bengals in 2024? Do they have to have him on the field the first 5-6 weeks of the season for them to win those games? Granted, their schedule is a little bit easier to the front half of the schedule. They play teams like the Panthers. They play the team like the Broncos and the Raiders, right? Open up against the Patriots. Can they really afford to lose Jamar Chase at all this season? And I'm going to keep it 100. Jamar Chase is this team. Jamar Chase is this team. Yes, Joe Burrow is nice when he's out there. Yes, T. Higgins is nice. Yes, Drew Sample is nice. Yes, Mike Jageski is nice. Right? Zach Moss is going to be a nice addition. Probably upgrade from Joe Mixon, right? But Jamar Chase is the keys to the ignition. Hot and fret out the kitchen. If you know, you know. But Jamar Chase and the Cincinnati Bengals better figure out their contract real freaking quick. Real freaking quick. But Jim Powell says Higgins signed a franchise tag, had like 700 yards last season, hoping for his bag. But he was a wrong guy to franchise. It should have been franchising Chase. So the problem with Jamar Chase is he's still on his rookie deal, right? Jamar Chase is what this is going into his fourth year. No, I'm sorry. This is 21, 22, 20. Yeah, so he's going into his 4th year. So technically he has 2 years left on his rookie deal, right? The lights just flashed, so we're going to probably lose power. So technically Jamar Chase has 2 years left on his deal. He's looking for an extension on top of it, right? 3, 4, 4 years, so the Bengals can lock him up for the next 6 seasons. The Bengals did the offseason right. They franchise tagged who they needed to franchise to really hold that core together, right? To hold that core together. T. Higgins and Casey's like, yep, they have Higgins. And yes, T. Higgins reminds me much of like Brandon Ayuk for the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, they have Deebo Samuel. Yes, they have CMC. They have George Kittle, but Brandon Ayuk is the glue that kind of keeps everything together. When you had Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins was that guy that you knew was always going to be there and always lock it down. But losing Tyler Boyd is huge, right? Rest of the receivers besides Jamar Chase and Higgins are kind of unknown. When I was watching practice, none of the receivers really jumped out at me. Yes, they caught the ball. They ran really, really good routes against second-team defense. Only time will tell how good or how bad the Cincinnati Bengals receiver core will be without Jamar Chase moving forward, because he expects them to be out until at least week 1, if not holding in until the middle of the season. But Joe Burrow at practice looked nice. looked pretty nice on Tuesday. They had a nice private practice on Tuesday, and I watched Joe Burrow pretty extensively. I wanted to see how he was going to recover from that wrist and see how the ball came off, see if he improved his arm strength, and just see him in general. And Joe Burrow, guys, talking to people out there, he has been perfect all camp. They have had 6 practices. They've had 1 padded practice last Tuesday with just shells and then just no equipment. Six practices they've been out there. Joe Burrow has not thrown 1 interception yet this camp. This offseason, this training camp, going into the 2020-24 NFL season, Joe Burrow has yet to throw an interception. Joe Burrow has been a complete perfect quarterback this offseason. Does that mean he's going to have an MVP season? Does that mean he's going to be comeback player of the year? Does that mean he's going to be reigning Super Bowl champion? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You know what this tells me about Joe Burrow? Mr. Joe Cool that we've seen in years past. Mr. I'm going to push it down the field, throw it into double coverage and let Jamar Chase go get it. We see a different Joe Burrow now this year, guys. I think we're going to see a more conservative Joe Burrow this season. We are going to see a Joe Burrow that's going to probably rely on his defense and kind of throw the ball away more than trying to risk it, right? Granted, he's probably saying no biscuit, no risk it, or however you say it, right? But he did a lot of check down throws during the team. He did a lot of, I'm not going to throw it to you until I see you wide open type of throws. Granted, it was working against a second-team defense. Granted, it was working against a third-team defense. But Cincinnati Bengals fans, you should be worried. You should be worried that Joe Burrow is not 100%. You should be worried that Jamar Chase is holding in. You should be worried that Orlando Brown Jr. wasn't participating in practice. You should be worried about that Trent Brown wasn't participating in practice. You should be worried about that a lot. Casey said it best right here. His offensive line is the biggest issue. It is. They're injured. They're injured. Better watch out. John says the defense is poo-poo. That's why they have no interceptions. Not wrong. Not wrong at all. Not wrong at all. But, guys, that is it for the news that we have for the Cincinnati Bengals. So let's go ahead and jump right into it before we lose power because it is dark. My lights keep flickering. I think I'm on. So I do have a UPS. A UPS is an uninterrupted power source. So if the power does go out, I have time to gracefully shut down my computer and like whatnot. Everything seems to be going well right now. But just in case we do get a breakup or a hiccup, that is why, guys. So I just want to be completely transparent of what could potentially be happening here in a minute. But it is what it is. But the Cincinnati Bengals do, guys, open up week 1 versus the old mighty New England Patriots. The New England Patriots could be starting Jacoby Brissett, could be starting Drake May, could be starting, who knows, Jameis Wilson. At this point, we don't know who the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots is going to be week 1, but it doesn't matter. I think the Cincinnati Bengals defense is much too good for the New England Patriots this particular week, and I think the Bengals win week 1, starting their season off 1-0. Week 2, they travel to Arrowhead Stadium. I believe, didn't Joe Burrow at one point call Burrowhead or something like that? I actually have a shirt that says Burrowhead. And then Know Your Role, Jabroni. But the Cincinnati Bengals going to Arrowhead. Kansas City Chiefs are going to be fresh off of a 10-day vacation after beating down the Baltimore Ravens week 1. And they continue that trend into week 2. And the old Cincinnati Bengals get beat down week 2. Chiefs win. And guys, the power just went out. I'm not going to lie. But here is my prediction for the Bengals for this season. I have about 3 minutes before the power goes completely out on me. I have the Bengals going 8-9 this season. I had the Bengals going 8-9 this season, getting hot for the first 5 weeks of of the season with wins over the Patriots, Commanders, Panthers, and Baltimore Ravens. After that Baltimore Ravens win, the wheels kind of fall off the wagon a little bit. Then they lose to the Giants, lose to the Browns, beat the Eagles, beat the Raiders, lose to the Ravens, beat the Chargers. Going into the bye week, which is week 12, they're kind of like, shit, what do we do? After the bye week, they win one game and one game only, and that is because that is a home game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, week 13, and then they end out the season losing to the Cowboys, Titans, Browns, Broncos, and Steelers in the season 8-9. 8-9, that's where I have the Cincinnati Bengals this season. Let me know, guys, is that too high? Is that too low? Or is that just right? Earlier, I think I saw, John said 6 or 7 wins for the Bengals, so that's too high for him. Too high. Let me know, guys. Is that too high, too low? Bengals right now, 8-9 on the season. I got to cut the show short, guys, because we're out of power. Later. See you tomorrow. No, I got to shut down the computer. Because if I don't shut it down, it fucks it up. Sorry. Cindy, stop, please. Yeah, flip that switch, please. Yeah, I'm saving everything right now.